Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It is Daily Dish time. Hello, Catherine. It's good to have you here. It's good to have all of you here. I'm kind of excited to be here. It's Tuesday. I like Tuesday. Yolanda, hello. I know tonight's going to be really good. And that is something that we're talking about. We are doing tonight. It is the rising tide. So you're not a part of that. Why not? The rising tide is our goal setting course. And this is where we're going to make things happen. It's exciting. It's fun. And you know what? Getting your goals dialed in, that's really important. And that's what this is all about. If you're not familiar with it, go to savingdinner.com/rise. You can still get in on it. Seriously. We'll send you everything digitally. You can just be a part of this. Am I right? Anyway, I'm excited about today. And I will tell you, you are excited about the Vibrant C plus E. Isn't that true? Let me tell you something. Vibrant C plus E. This is, I believe, the best one on the market. And sadly, it's the last best one on the market. Our manufacturer is not doing skincare anymore. He lives right up the street from me too, which just bums me out. So we have very limited quantities. You wiped out half of it yesterday. So very limited quantities. When it's gone, it's gone. And I'm telling y'all, better get on this, because I'm about to start wiping it out myself and stashing it. I want to keep this. This is the best vitamin C plus E. Okay, here's the reason why. Number one, most vitamin C serums oxidize. Vitamin C is very delicate. It gets exposed to oxygen. It oxidizes, meaning the effectiveness isn't there anymore. This brings out vibrant skin because it's stabilized with the vitamin E, and the pump keeps the oxygen out. Not only that, but they micro encapsulate the vitamin C. So I'm going to see if I can find somebody else who does this. I don't know. We might go there again. For now, our skincare is being discontinued. You buy this, you are going to get a free Wise Women's Moisture Cream, Deep Moisture. And these two go hand in hand. So wonderful. It is silky. Hi, Nancy. Mother Hen's in the house. And I'll tell you, if you have not seen all of Mother Hen's plated food from the workshop, you're missing out. I bet you're going to be eating off of that for another week. Wasn't that fun? It was a little bit of a comedy at home doing this. The dog was whining and getting in my way. Mark was taking the video, and we did the very best that we could, but the plan works. And we just finished up everything that we had on ours. We ate it for lunch. We ate it for dinner. And the remaining chicken that we have left, we're making it into some chicken salad to have with some arugula and spinach and other things that I have in the refrigerator. But yay, right? Hey, Jeanette. I'm going to do more of those. If you like them, I'm going to do some more cooking stuff, because we've got a lot of them going on. But yeah, you know what? You can get the cook along if you go to savingdinner.com/cook. It will give you the whole plan and the recipes and tell you how to set it all up and do the whole thing. And you can watch it too. It's fun. Menu, recipes, shopping list, the whole bit. So that's how that whole thing works. Besides Recreate Your Life, besides the Rising Tide, we also have Recreate Your Life. And what we've done with that, which I am super excited about, is created a whole year's curriculum. I have all these great books sitting on my bookshelf, and I thought, why not just pull them all out? Let's get busy with them. And we set up a whole curriculum, and you're going to learn so much. Because you know what often happens is we buy books, we throw them on the shelf, guilty, and then we don't read them. But now we get into it. We get all into it. TM, who is TM? I think that's Trish. Lynn is in the house. Marianne is in the house. Yolanda says, loved it. Do it. Please do it again. You betcha. Yolanda made some stuff too. She showed her egg roll in a bowl. Wasn't that good? I love that. It's one of my favorite things. I do it all the time. And there's all kinds of ways to hack it, make it easy. And this is when people say that I just don't have time to cook or to eat healthy or whatever. Come on. Sure you do. And I show you how to do it, right? That's the whole thing. Anyway, I loved it. I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you're a part of it. So we are now going to get into the show. I want to also remind you that your Take Back Your Life journal, this is a great big fat version of it. We've shifted it and changed it up. It's really geared toward your goals and what are you doing weekly? What are you doing daily? And making sure that your goals are included in those plans. I like this. It goes really, really well with the Rising Tide, by the way. So if you haven't haven't purchased yours yet, what are you waiting for? savingdinner.com/journal. That's where it is. Don't you love how big it is? I write big, so I like that. And you know me with my pencils. That's just how I roll. Recreate Your Life. I told you about that. savingdinner.com/recreate. And then, of course, if you are wanting our Vibrant C+E, which I would advise you to get it today. It will be gone. I'm thinking it'll be gone by Thursday, just because it's rolling out the door so fast. We sold over half our stock, what was left, yesterday. Get on it. So that's found at savingdinner.com/show. Remember, this is a $32 value. You get that free. I am. Okay, let's talk about it. You know what we're doing, right? This whole month and then some into February, we are going through the whole laws of the universe, as they say. And if you remember years back, The Law of Attraction was this great big movie and everybody went bonkers for it. And Oprah was talking about it. And then some people were freaking out. Oh, this is just so anti this, that, and the other thing. And other people were saying, oh, it's a bunch of garbage and it's too much and it's this, that, and the other thing. And you know what? I looked at it and said, well, why are these even in a thing if they're not real? What we have to do is not just talk about, ooh, look at all the woo-woo here, but we always have to look at how is it that this has science behind it, and this is something that we can look at and leverage. That's how I look at it. Because when we do that, that's when the magic happens. And you know what? You can have magic without woo-woo. And I know a lot of people are freaked out about that, but I'm going to tell you right now that these are things that we need to take into our mind anyway and sort. This I can use, this doesn't make sense for me, doesn't make me feel good, whatever. Fine. Because life is a big buffet. And, we don't want to just shut things down. We want to be taking a look at all the things. That's how I look at it. Anyway, so we're going to go into the law of attraction. It's the big one. It's the one everybody knows. And in my opinion, it's the one that we all need to be really looking at because it's the biggie. It's the centerpiece. And, this is the one thing that everybody says, well, you need to use the law of attraction to manifest your dreams, your success, all the happiness that you want to gather in this life, right? There's other things, of course. And, this is not like the magic genie in a bottle kind of a deal. The true power in it aligns with how you align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions to actually receiving your goals. And it is a true law of attraction. It's like a magnet. We're going to unpack this. So anyway, let's take a couple of things that we want to look at all of this. We want to look at the science. We want to look at the underrated ideas out there on how to create this in our lives. And the other thing that we need to be looking at and want to be looking at is What's true about it? What's true about it and how can we leverage it? So it's basically the law of attraction is like attracts like. Duh. That makes sense, right? When we are trying to organize our homes or organize a kitchen or whatever, and if you, I did a thing a while back showing you how to organize your kitchen, and a lot of it had to do with putting like together with like. You got the visual order that you needed, you got the logic that you needed to know where things were going to be located. In other words, you didn't have your forks tossed in with the measuring cups and your rolling pin, right? Everything had a place, and the serving pieces all went in one place. All of your cutlery, as it were, all had places for it to go. The salad forks, the dinner forks, etc. It made sense, and it helped, and it gave your mind the ease of accomplishment, knowing that if you go to that third drawer down, you're going to find the foil, along with the saran wrap, along with the plastic bags, along with ties for your chip bags or whatever it is that you clips and such, whatever it is that you use. And these are the things that make it so much easier to put certain things on automatic pilot. Now, you've heard me talk before. It's like you don't want to live your life on automatic pilot, but you want to do some things on automated pilot, so that you could just get through all the things that you need to do. That's sort of how law of attraction is, and it just helps to increase the flow of how this whole thing works. So let's talk about what the law of attraction is, and then we'll talk about what it's not. And I want you to first think in your mind about a magnet. When you think about a magnet, you think about you have a magnet and you can feel the pull of certain things coming to the magnet. Likewise, you can feel the repelling of certain things going away from it. And it's all about electrons, right? You've got the positive electrons, whoop, that goes to the magnet. You got the negative ones, boop, that repels them, like our thoughts. And our thoughts with the law of attraction, really critical, because our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs influence what our reality is going to be about. And that a lot of that has to do with what switches you're flipping on and off, and what buttons you're pressing as far as parts of your brain to activate. We will talk about that. But we also need to understand that our positive thoughts attract positive outcomes. And guess what our negative thoughts do? They also reflect and attract negative outcomes. It really is that simple. But if we can get to the core of this whole thing, it's about becoming a deliberate creator in your own life. Period. I have said this so many times. We want our life to be deliberately created. We do not want to live by default. Again, automate the toilet cleaning, but don't automate your goals and your habits for what it is that you want in your life. So if we focus on what we want rather than what it is that we don't want, that's the thing that's going to get our energy, our time, and our focus. That makes a difference. It makes a huge difference, and it flips on the creativity and the imagination that each one of us possesses. And I will tell you over and over again that the law of attraction is not like some kind of magic pill. And a lot of people totally think that it's a whole passive process. If you think about it, you will bring it about it. Have you heard that before? Think about it, bring it about, or whatever it is. But it's not that. There's three things that's required. First of all, it's the clarity of your intention. It's knowing exactly what it is that you want and turning that into an intention. That is why we do that with our goals. And we do it by identification too. Like, I am fill in the blank. I am an athlete. I am a healthy eater. I am whatever it is, because that shows what it is that you want to become, and you know what it is that you want. And then there's aligned action, because if you're not taking the steps toward your goal, it's all just wishful thinking, even if you've written it down. And I always think that, using all your senses is so incredibly important. And that would be like writing it down, saying out loud, looking in the mirror, talking to someone and just say, yeah, but I am an athlete. So therefore, this is what I do. I'm not available for that time because I'm at the gym doing X, Y, and Z. Not that you want to be that guy, but if you are trying to manifest a certain way of having your life, then we need to make room for speaking that kind of thing in there. What you think about, you bring about. That's it. What you dwell upon becomes your destiny, 100%. We want our focus and our attention to go on the things that we want, not the things that we don't want. And then we also have to put consistent effort into it, because without consistency, well, it's an on switch one day, it's an off switch the other. And think about it this way. If you have a pitcher that you're trying to fill with water and you're turning the faucet on, then turning it off, and then turning on the faucet and then turning it off, how long do you think it's going to take for you to get that pitcher full? If you are consistently keeping that faucet on, that pitcher will fill up in no time. And it's just, even if it was just a drip, drip, drip at a time, right? This is the visual that I want you to have about this whole stuff. And there's also some science that's behind the law of attraction. And I know you can think of the first one, and which is the reticular activating system. That is such an incredible, God thought of this for us and gave us this system in our brain. It's basically a radar system that picks up what it is that we're thinking about. So if we're thinking about all kinds of, like buying a car, for example, and you want to buy a red Prius, how many times have I said this? You're going to suddenly see red Priuses all over the road. And it wasn't that they weren't there before. It's just you flip that switch. So for us, we need to be thinking, what switch are we flipping? What are we telling our radar to pick up on the radar screen? If you were in the Army or the Navy or something like that, their radar screens are trained and programmed to pick certain things up. Not everything, just certain things. Can you imagine if it was to pick up every little falling star and everything else like that? In the sky, it is looking for particular things. We can do that ourselves too. We can train our reticular activating system to become the filter trained to what it is that we want. But remember this, the reticular activating system does not have a moral compass. It doesn't have an emotional regulator on it. It doesn't say, oh, really, Leanne, is this what you want? Or is this what you don't want? It's not going to ask. It's going to go by the instruction of what you give it. So if you're giving your reticular activating system nothing but negativity and garbage and what have you, and actually, by the way, the science shows us that the more you think about something bad happening, the more likely it is to happen. This is why we have to guard our thoughts and our heart. We have to be careful about what it is that we think, because our brains are quite literally waiting to flip on a switch that's going to say, I will go get this for you. So if it's absolute trash and garbage and something that would just horrify you, but you're thinking about it, it's kind of like we're getting what we asked for, and we don't want that kind of a thing. So remember, you're pushing the button. You're pushing the button. So if you're pushing the button and you're getting all this goodness back into your life, it's because that is the thing that you are seeking, and it suddenly starts to show up in your life. I love that so much. That was put in you by your creator. Isn't that crazy? It's amazing. Also, we also get to work with our neuroplasticity. Our neurons create pathways in our brains. You've heard me talk about this over and over again. This is why our habits are what they are. And we have good habits, a neural pathway. We have bad habits, also a neural pathway. If we want to build habits, then we need to strengthen our neural pathways, right? We need to strengthen a new neural pathway. We do this with optimism and gratitude and positive thinking and problem solving and action taking, all reinforcing this neural pathway. And it takes a minute. It's that consistency that creates and builds that neural pathway. It's not instantaneous, but it's also a guard that gets put together for you after you've created your sonar, so to speak, and what it is that you want to get and what you're about and what you're trying to attract into your life. And also there's this emotional vibration and energy that comes with it, because we have to be looking at how our emotions push our buttons. Does anybody ever have your emotions push your buttons? Oh my gosh, I have, both in the positive and in the negative. So if we have positive emotions like gratitude and joy, guess what happens? We become more open. We find more opportunity. We are more solution oriented. We're more creative. Our imaginations are kind of tingling, right? Because of that. But if we're negative, our focus gets narrower and narrower and narrower and small, and it hinders our progress. There is this idea of absolutely zero hope. And you can feel the difference, can't you? The difference between this open, grand idea of anything is possible versus it's hopeless, I can't, it's over. There's such a difference and such a different vibe. And that energy is harnessed, by the way, with your reticular activating system and also your neural pathways. That's why our thoughts are so important. So if we understand that all of our thoughts carry this vibe or energy, then, if we want to be on top of the food chain, getting all this really good stuff and vibing with the angels, then we're going to have to think about being down in the dumps and vibing with a bunch of dumb rocks, because that's the difference. That's the difference right there. I love to contrast whenever I can when I'm thinking about, my thinking and how things are working and how things aren't. It makes a big, big difference. So let's look at 5 different ways that we can harness the law of attraction. The first thing is to clarify your vision. And I will tell you, one of the best things that you can do now, my vision board, this is my old vision board right here, but my new vision board is upstairs because I spend more time upstairs than I do downstairs, because downstairs is freezing cold. So I'm upstairs. When I write in my journal, I've got my vision board right there. I put emotion into that vision board. I look at what that vision board is saying to me. And if you saw my video in the Hot Melt Sprint group on Facebook, I explained what the vision board was about. All of that triggers my thoughts, my affirmations, and everything good about what my goals are for this year, and helps me to be more articulate with them, to put emotion into them, to be thankful and have gratitude toward them. It makes everything, it helps to define what success would look like for me. And you get to do the same thing as well. If we visualize our goals as already achieved, our brain does not know the difference between that and the actual achievement itself. Remember the concert pianist, same deal, same kind of a deal. Remember, no moral compass, doesn't understand the difference between right or wrong, takes instructions, and it also you can lie to it. You can say, this hasn't happened yet. I mean, you will know that it hasn't happened, but you're going to put the same intensity and the same emotion in that becomingness of what it is that you want. And your brain's going to think, okay, yeah, we're there. So this is what we do. And then all kinds of opportunities, solutions, etc., all open up. Does that make sense to you? I love this part because this is the magic to me, but it just makes sense. I wrote a Substack post. You got my link for Substack. You can sign up for that if you like. It's all stuff you're not going to see here or anywhere else, and it's free. But I'm going to have some paid content later. But you can just sign up for it. It was in today's newsletter for the Substack. Really important. Read The Perfect Day. It's a methodology by Martha Beck, and I kind of unpack it a little bit and how that works, but it's very much based on the law of attraction. So if you use that, that's going to help you to clarify your vision of what you want your life to look like. Hey, Autumn. I'm glad you're here. And Lynn, too. The other thing, number 2, is you have to shift your beliefs because, limiting beliefs hold you back. Duh, right? I know you know that. But, sometimes we think, oh, I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. I can't do this. I don't deserve it. All of that. And that is just, that just holds us back. And it's a worthless pursuit is what it is. And it is also puts the brakes on all the good stuff that you want. So just get rid of that. We can replace those limiting beliefs with our goal affirmations, the I ams, and by using affirmations in our journaling as well. I do it all the time. It's very powerful to write I am. I am. God used this. This came from the burning bush. You remember that? I am, and boom, wasn't it? Moses fell over. Yeah, that's pretty powerful. So let's take a look. I mean, if this is something that works, let's do it. Hey, Virginia. And by the way, do it a lot. Do it all the time. Shampoo, rinse, repeat. Do it daily. Let this become a habit. Let this get a new neural pathway in your brain. Let it happen. 3 is to practice gratitude. And, you can have a gratitude journal for this, or you can use your own gratitude journal, making sure that, or your own journal, and making sure that gratitude is in there on a daily basis. Do easy 3 things I'm thankful for today. Start your day with that. Open with gratitude. And if you're really having a stinky day, get out and have a gratitude rampage and just walk around. If you're a little cranky and angry, I've done it. Walk around wherever it is that you need to walk around and stomp and take the dog and throw the ball and whatever it is. But have gratitude for all the little things, the sticks that you see on the ground and that you pick up, for the beauty that you see in the trees that are all around you. We have an opportunity to do this. And I think so often we overlook all of it. But that's something that, we have this incredible framework that we can build a perfect day on if we start out with gratitude. Okay. 4 is to take aligned action, meaning that what you're talking about, the goals that you've made and everything else, you have aligned action steps to go with them. Let's say you are trying, like, for example, I'll use me. I'm trying to lose 10% body fat. And I'm trying to do this with, by the way, I haven't been on the scale since the beginning of January. I'm not going to until February. But I'm not worried about the scale. My scale is a bioimpedance scale. I'm weighing how much fat and bone and how much fat is on my body versus what my muscle mass is, because I'm trying to build muscle mass. I don't care what I weigh. I honestly don't. What I care about is my muscle increasing? Because this is protective of the bone. It's protective of my mind. It's protective of my gut. All of this at my age, I need this. So this is what I am aware of. And that's what I'm measuring. So if I do this, what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that I'm doing my weight training. I'm doing pickleball, because that is boom, boom, boom on the bones, and that my protein has increased. So that's my aligned action to meet my goal. I can do this every day and stay consistent with it. It's not hard. It just means it needs to be a part of what it is that I do. And I do it. It's pretty fun. So I'm kind of anxious to see what I get on February 1st. It's going to take a minute, but I'm willing to do the work. The other thing is to embrace your visualizations and your affirmations. I mean, seriously, embrace them. They're the most powerful thing that you own. When you visualize for 5 to 10 minutes, staring at your vision board that you took all the time to make, stare at that, look at it, and you know what? Get into it. Use as many senses as you possibly can. Speak to it and say, yes, I am blah, blah, blah. Yes, I am having the best day ever. Yes, I am creating the perfect day. Yes, I am living the perfect day. Yes, I have, whatever, however you want to use your vision board and saying different things. Sometimes I'll get into if I'm really in the dumps and I'm just can't seem to push myself over that emotional edge, I'll get into it and go look myself in the eye, in the mirror, and say these things on repeat. It's important that we believe the things that we are saying. So make sure you're not saying something like, oh, yes, I am blah, blah, blah. You need to be becoming this sometimes. That's how this whole thing works. And you use your affirmations to resonate with your goals and values, obviously. You know, I am confident and capable of achieving my dreams is great, but even better, it's on who you are becoming. I am an athlete. I am a successful business owner if you're starting a business or whatever. But all of these things allows us to see and opens our mind up to solutions to these different things. And we'll start thinking of more things that we can do. So here's a couple of other things, though, to add to the equation. These are the normal things for the law of attraction, but I'm going to talk about a couple of things that might impede your progress for this. And you know what the number one thing is? A cluttered environment. I've talked about this before. To me, it's about visual peace. That visual peace keeps it so that I'm not now making a list of all the things that I need to do with this junk everywhere. The visual peace allows for the peace for me to have inside of me as well. And, you know, I've heard people say, a lot of people say that, well, it's just the way I am. I'm just a cluttered mess. I just do things messy, but I know where everything is, blah, blah, blah. But the science tells us that outside clutter creates inside clutter. And what that does is it blocks your energy, it blocks your focus, and it keeps you away from the things that it is that you want. And, you know, for some people, it's not about going through and doing a big clean sweep like some, you know, reality show on TV. It's just about clearing off your desk, taking all that unopened mail and putting it in one area and saying, okay, I'm going to sit down and take care of this while I'm watching X, Y, and Z on TV. But just little plans like this allow for you to take care of the clutter. Number two is that you have to act as if, I know you might not be there, but let's say you have a goal of losing 100 pounds, right? And you're going 25 pounds for this 12-week period. Doable. So what would, even though you don't want to be walking around saying, yeah, I'm, 100 pounds less. Okay. And you're not, and you're having that push, that resistance happening inside of you. But what would a woman who is on this path of taking care of this 100 pounds be doing? Be her. Right? We've got examples of this. Look at what Tanya's done, right? Be her. She acts as if, and then she does it. And she also has times where she doesn't do it. And she shares that because we don't do things perfectly. It is not about flawlessness and perfection. It's about doing things excellently. And part of being consistent is getting back up after you've been knocked down and starting over. Not being so discouraged and so thin-skinned that you can't find it within yourself to say, okay, that's enough. And then make some rules for yourself. One of the things that I have done is, like, if you have one meal that takes you off the rails, okay. You had one meal that took you off the rails. Now get up and go fix something that's more hot melt sprint oriented, right? Be that person. Just say, that's enough. Don't just say next week or next Monday. Get into it for the very next meal. And that will get you back on track, because that's acting as if. Okay. Number three is the leverage of power, to leverage the power of scripting. Write this whole thing out. Write it out. This is what your day looks like. That's what the perfect day does. And you can even take it a step further and write yourself a letter about yourself and congratulating you on your huge success. And I'm so proud of you and how you did all these things and blah, blah, blah. And then save it, give it to your spouse, give it to somebody, and ask them to mail it to you a month later or so. Powerful stuff. Also, surround yourself with things that are going to amplify your energy. And that mostly is a community. If you're not in the Hot Melt Sprint group, come on. talk about amplifying and making things better. That's what that group does. And then the other thing is embrace inspired inaction. You know, sometimes we have brains that are just packed with stuff. Unpack it, drop it all into a document, you know, type it out, write it out in your journal, whatever. Unpack your brain. And then just give it a minute. Allow for a little bit of a buffer zone, a little bit of a margin before you start trying to fix everything. Sometimes we need that. And that's where inspiration can come from too. It's not that you're not doing anything, you're allowing for the process. So don't forget, if you're going to be doing this, the other thing you want to be doing is also making sure that you're not overthinking this outcome. Instead, you're concentrating on what it is that you're doing today and you're trusting in the journey. 2, that you're not dwelling on the negativity. When you see that, you flip it and you redirect your negative thoughts into the positive stuff. Use gratitude to get you there, because you can't, those two things you can't do at the same time, by the way. It's just impossible for your brain. And then don't forget about your action. Without action, guess what? You got nothing. So action is what's going to take this in. And remember, those I am statements for your goals help you to create a to-do list for today so that you can start checking the boxes. This is how we move the needle. This is how we use the law of attraction in a way that works. And it's not just a bunch of woo-woo. All right. Now, one last thing. Don't forget about the vitamin C plus E, the Vibrant C plus E. This stuff is so, I'm going to show you. Look. No, I'm not. This is not my bottle. I don't want to, this is a brand new bottle. This is probably going to be going out today. But I wanted to just show you. It's creamy, it's emollient, and it goes on. It feels like just yummy. So the Vibrant C plus E you can find at savingdinner.com/show. You get this with it too. $32 value of our deep moisture cream. You're going to want it. Thank you, Catherine, for showing up. I so appreciate you. Pinkies up. Mother Hen says, pinkies up. So put your pinkies up, get out there, full steam ahead, and go make today fabulous. If you're in the rising tide, I'll see you tonight. Peace be with you. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.